I want to talk about that building up ahead. It's the one that's covered in scaffolding and screens, etc. There he is. That's the Tag Community Centre now, Arts and Crafts. But back in the day, it was Central Garage. And this side here, you had a showroom where you went in and bought cars and looked at cars and that. I remember going in there for the launch of the Mini Metro. So that was something that's definitely stuck in my mind. Don't know which date that was, but I was in there sitting in a brand new Mini Metro and looking at it when it just been launched. And round the other side, because the building used to go all the way through to where the toilets are, that was the bit where you got your petrol and that, and you pulled in and they did that. And they also worked on cars around the back. But here's a picture of it. I'll line it up first. You know, you make out that green shop just to the left of all the barriers. That comes into it. And here it is. That's Central Garage. No exact date for that, I'm afraid, but that's how it used to be, even in my lifetime. Back good old Fort's Cafe, that's what I say, bring back Fort's Cafe. Shall we do 3 rainy Norman then and nows? Well, it wasn't rainy when he filmed it, but it's rainy now. Here we go. Here we go. Number 1 of a tiny little sequence of the bus chase, where they come around here. You'll see the man on the bike coming down here, past the old Coastwatch hut, which used to be like made of wood, and he comes down here. Next shot in my sequence. Team Bean isn't there, obviously. A load of people watching the filming. And the Lido has not been built yet. It's actually a car park at this point, where during the rest of the filming they were storing the bus, as apparent from Norman's little walk over the bridge, where you can see it parked in the car park. But anyway, that was there. This is the second one in my sequence. And the final one in my sequence is when the bus comes along here, past what was then the old Jubilee shelter, which obviously didn't have a top layer, and the observation deck used to be where the TYC club is now. And the interesting thing about this is, as you know, on the bus there's supposed to be a vicar sat on the top deck throughout the film. Well, of course, there's not really a vicar sat there throughout all the filming. So what they've done, they've actually, if you slow it down and look, they've actually stuck a hat that the vicar was wearing on top of a pole and tied it to the side of the bus. So that's something to look out for anyway. It's the last still. So I suppose, after all that waffle, I better run the clip. Don't blink or you miss it. What's that? The clip wasn't long enough. You want it again? Oh, go on then. Right, just to give you some context to exactly where we are. There's Marina Court. There's the end area behind the play park. And over there is the Under Court. Now, as we know, that used to be Morgan Giles Boatyard. But also, regular viewers will know of the old Riverside Cafe, which used to be virtually the end of this little road here. Now, it would have been about here, actually, the Riverside Cafe, before this was built, obviously, before it was demolished. But I've shown you pictures of it before. I've shown you a picture of it from a distance. I've shown you pictures when it was a wimpy. I've shown you pictures of it when it was being demolished. All sorts, but I've never shown you this one because I've never seen it myself. Up close, Riverside Cafe. So that was demolished in the mid-80s, late 80s, I think, to make way for Leander Court being built. But I've never shown you a picture inside the cafe before because I've never seen one myself. Here we go, picture inside the Riverside Cafe. So there we go, pretty cool. I'd just love to step into that photo and say hello to all those people. tell them what's going to happen in the future, scare them after death. Be lovely, be lovely. I don't normally make a point of filming the playground, but just show you this quickly. This is it as I remember it. And like I say, as I turn the camera away from the playground itself, that's how I remember it very well. With the there was like the lake in the middle, and that was like little remote control boats at one point, and then they changed to sort of bumper boats that you sat in and bumped into each other. That was all good fun. There was of course the little racetrack of the cars, which we've covered before, to the right in that picture. And yeah, quite cool, quite cool. Anyway, I'll flash it up again. There we go. I thought I'd do that one as well today, simply because it was in amongst those pictures where I found the ones at the Riverside Cafe. Talk about casino slots slash booze amusements slash Purple Penny. Never got any pictures of it. Ah, well, we have today. Let's go line him up. I don't have any as Purple Penny, but this is Booze Amusements. This was 1985, I believe. Photo courtesy of Pastimes in Teignmouth, which I'll credit in the write-up. And it says Booze Amusements, which is what it became after Purple Penny. And you'll notice above the door there's like these swirly designs in the photo that moved around, these boxes with lights in them, and they were there when it was the Purple Penny as well. But here we go, 1985, from about here. Do you see Phyllis's Barber Shop is a empty shop with a John Player special advert on it, and the old casino slots opens all the way across like it used to when it was Purple Penny. Right, that's that. Nice trip down memory lane for me as well. Storms. That's what's left of the breakwater here. I'm going to look up like this. I'm going very slowly for a point. And we're going to show you a shot, including a train, of when the breakwater used to be here. Here we go. Pop it in now over the top of my voice. And you'll also notice the signal a little bit further down that way. To the left, halfway along the wall, you can see the signal. But most importantly, what's left of the breakwater down there. Now some of you will remember that up here in this area there used to be a little Peter Pan railway, and I've shown you a few pictures of it before, usually promotional shots or shots of it on a postcard or something. But if you remember Andy, who sent me in those pictures the other day of the breakwater and the train up at Spray Point, he also sent me this last night, and it's his very own two brothers on the ride in the 50s. Here we go. And that would have been round about here on the Peter Pan Railway in the 50s, and his two brothers. Thanks for that, Andy, much appreciated. Now I've done one of these before, similar one, but not exactly this one. So if you think you've seen it before, you haven't. Right, roughly here, still see that church. Car park's not been built, got to get out of the road before I get knocked over. And here we go, similar view from back in the day. As you notice, the church is still there, and the bridge bit is visible, but of course this is all a wall where this would have been the hotel. Okay, so we're going to have another then and now. This is quite an interesting one in a way, for a couple of reasons. We're going back to 1859, we're about here, and there's broad gauge, and everything's happening in the picture, very nice. However, you'll notice just behind things, sort of in the centre, just to the left, there's a hut. And I think that's the original hut, as I'm looking now, where it was then. So here's the picture. And I think that was that shed that I say I used to go across to, and where I think it's Ian said he went in when he was younger in the 60s and got a lamp from it. Anyway, we'll check on that later on, but I think that's that hut. Right, first then now of the day, looking up here towards Orchard Gardens. There's a flood. I'll try and put the date on the photo if I can work it out later on. There we go. That was there. It'd be nice to have a closer look, wouldn't it, really? Can't really do that with photos unless you zoom in, or unless you get another photo taken at the same time from slightly further up. So, using my powers of guesswork, I'm going to say round about here and throw up the second photo for you. Here you go. Yeah, it's not a million miles from where I was. So when I do my then and nows, as you know, I like to say, oh, this was 1857 or this was so and so. But this one came across my desk the other day. Lovely picture. But I thought to myself, well, that's only, you know, very recent. Not worth doing it as a then and now. Then I thought about it. 2013. It's over 10 years ago. Where's the time gone? So anyway, the 5th of May 2013, Cornishman comes along the wall here. Here you go. Crazy to think where the time goes. Absolutely crazy. I think that's over 10 years ago that was. Amazing. Simon the plumber asked me to do something about the Carlton Theatre as was. Some old then and out of that. So I've done a bit of research, a little bit of history, a little bit of personal knowledge. And here's what I've come up with. Now again, I'm doing this kind of on the fly. So what I plan to do is just wing it, see how it comes out and mess about and edit if need be. But anyway, as we know, there's the pavilions now. And that was the Carlton Theatre for a long time. But before the Carlton Theatre, it was the Den Pavilion or the Bowling Pavilion. And that was built in the 1930s. The bowling green was built in 1908 using sod from the Bitton Parks bowling green area to create it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you first of all a picture of it in situ when it was the the pavilion, and then another one where it flashes up from that side where they were starting to demolish it, and I'll do a voiceover over the top of a few facts and figures for you. The bowling pavilion opened in June 1930 at a cost of just £7,000 and considered to be a large and well-fitted hall. It served the town well for many years and many famous acts performing on its stage. 1967 saw a redeveloped and newly named Carlton Theatre rise from the builder's rubble and complete with a new stage, dressing rooms and showers, and a new canopy entrance and box office, completing what was then a state-of-the-art design. So here's what it used to look like as the Carlton Theatre, because how they built it was to put like a prefabricated shell over what was left of the bones of the pavilions, and this is what it looked like in the 90s. Same shot from a little bit closer. There used to be a bar in there called the Butler's Bar, which was apparently very luxurious. And I can remember one time they used to have all different things going on in there. They had a boxing tournament, and of all people, Zammo from Grange Hill came down to compete in the boxing contest as Lee McDonald, the actor. And I remember him coming in the arcade and everyone swarming him and him going back and hiding away in the back of the Carlton Theatre. But anyway, here it is closer up. Here's the next shot from the side. I believe this is after it's been closed down, because the cafe is closed and boarded up, and it appears to be the clock is missing from the top, etc. So I think, yes, this is after it's been closed down, awaiting demolition. Here it is again though, when the cafe was going at the side from a different angle. As you can see at the moment, it's called the Green Room. Simon seems to remember it as Kiwis, which I don't doubt at all. But that was the cafe at the side there. I remember it by another name as well, but I can't think what it was. And just over there at that end used to be 2 sets of underground toilets, men and ladies. Another set that we've lost in the town. So there we go, that was that. And it was demolished in 2014. Here we go, half demolished. And here we are, fully demolished, just a muddied area. Well, I hope you enjoyed that.